Good afternoon. My name is Matt Weintraub. I'm Bucks County District Attorney. As many of you know, I know this is why you're gathered here. We were called out to a scene at about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon to Morrisville. We're in Bucks County. Bucks County detectives and Morrisville Police Department worked in conjunction with each other for a report, candidly, of a number of bodies that were found in a small apartment at Robert Morris Apartments. We've been there since 4 p.m. yesterday, and frankly, we're still trying to sort everything out. I can confirm that we have 2 suspects in custody. They are a mother and a daughter. Shayna Decree is 45 years old. She is the mother. Dominique Decree is her 19-year-old daughter. They are both from Morrisville, and that apartment complex was their residence. They were in apartment unit S5 at 200 West Bridge Street. They are now charged with 5 counts each of criminal homicide and 1 count each of criminal conspiracy to commit those homicides. We do have affidavits and criminal complaints available. They will be made available to you electronically on Crime Watch, and we can make paper copies available if you need. The mother, Shayna Decree, was arraigned very early this morning at 3:30 in the morning, and she is now being held on her charges without bail because of the potential of the first-degree murder conviction. Dominique Decree's arraignment is expected shortly after this news conference by video. I understand that she still may be receiving medical treatment, but she is in fact locked up and being watched by police on a 24-hour watch. We anticipate that her bail also will be no bail because of the non-bailable nature of first-degree murder. It's fair to release right now the names of the victims of this unspeakable tragedy. Naira Smith is one of Shayna Decree's children. She is 25. Damon Decree Jr. is 13. And Shayna Decree's sister is also a victim of homicide. She is Jamila Campbell, age 42. And Jamila Campbell's twin daughters, Erica and Amani Allen, age 9, are also victims. This investigation is ongoing. It will be some time before we can determine all of their causes of death. They've all been brought to the coroner. I would like to share one bit of good news. As of late last night, we were looking for another occupant of that apartment, the young man Joshua Campbell, who is the son of the victim, Jamila Campbell. We have found him alive, and he is safe from harm. I am sure that you're going to ask me why this has occurred and what the motivation is. And as confusing as it was last night, we are no closer to understanding that in the harsh light of day. We will continue to pursue every lead and to work this case to its just conclusion. I expect that will be a long and laborious process, but we will always keep Naira, Damon, Jamila, Erica, and Imani first and foremost in our minds and our hearts as we work to get justice for them. There's not much more that I can say. Thank you.
Sir, can you tell us how DHS first became aware of this family?
I don't know. I only know that there was an active DHS case, and that's what brought it to our attention in law enforcement. But I don't know the details. You would have to ask them about that.
Do you want to, was there any history of mental illness in the family that you've been able to uncover?
I am not sure, but I wouldn't be able to comment about that at this time anyway, Vinny.
The way the affidavit reads,
It seems like this is some kind of murder-suicide pact. Is that fair to assess it that way?
Well, I can certainly comment on the murder aspect of it because we know that that was accomplished tragically. As far as what the two defendants contemplated themselves, that would be purely speculation at this point. That is a potentiality, though.
Well, you mentioned just a moment ago as you were listening to the victims of this, you paused before describing the death of the 9-year-old. What goes through your mind? You see plenty of bad things in your job, but this is...
I just wish I didn't have to report it. I wish we didn't have to deal with it. But we're sworn to do it, so we do. And we will. We'll do our best to get justice for those girls and the other 3 victims.
And no idea why this happened at this point.
We're working on some theories, but it wouldn't be fair of me to speculate, Bruce, so I'm not going to.
Dominique had superficial neck wounds. Is there any indication that Shayna might be charged with attempted murder?
I think that it is fair to deduce from the evidence that the charges are substantially as they will remain. There's always the potential that we could tweak them as it gets closer to the preliminary hearing because the investigation is ongoing. But I would be guessing if I were to comment specifically on what you just asked me, Vinny, so I don't know.
Matt, do you have a timeline of this? And in the criminal complaint, they talk about how one of those who's dead was active in the killing. Do you have any, if that's a part of it, do you have that confirmed at this point?
I would rely on the documents that you have, Deanna. I don't want to comment on the express timeline because I would hate to be contradicted in the future.
And was Joshua there for any of this? Was he gone when all of this happened?
That is not our information, thankfully.
But he was not there.
He was not there. That is the best of our information. He was not there at the time of the murders.
Do you have a time of death?
Not yet.
Can you talk a little bit about how the women's story is evolved? There's sort of 3 different versions given in the application. How long did it take for them to start confessing?
As you know, I'm obligated under the rules of ethics not to comment on whether they have made incriminating statements, so I would ask you just to rely on the charging documents at this time.
Fair to say no other suspects?
Absolutely fair to say there are no other suspects. I am grateful, as always, for the swift and professional way that law enforcement handled this investigation. To be able to resolve a case in which 5 people were murdered within the course of a half a day and have the 2 people responsible locked up and facing justice is amazing and is a true testament to the quality of law enforcement that we enjoy here in Bucks County. It doesn't make this any easier, but I'm at least grateful to be able to say that everybody out there is safe and is not at risk from these killers.
Is there any indication that these kids were in any kind of danger before this discovery?
I couldn't say. Once again, I'd refer you over to children and youth. When we got involved in law enforcement, this is what we discovered, and unfortunately it was too late for these kids.
Any sense from local police that this was a problem apartment, that there was anything that was an issue going on?
I don't know that, but it wouldn't be fair of me to comment on that anyway.
The paperwork also says the 2 women were found disoriented. Can you describe to us what you mean by that? Were there indications of drug use?
I could not comment on that actually because that may become an issue down the road at trial, and we want to preserve their right to a fair trial.
Did they elaborate on why they said the victims wanted to die and wanted to commit suicide?
I appreciate why you want to know that. I'm sure many people do, but I just cannot comment on any statements that they might have made. I just feel very confident that we have the 2 killers locked up that committed these atrocious murders.
Is there any preliminary in the bodies that were discovered?
I'm going to wait for the ME to make that determination, although I was present at the scene.
What will that be?
Given the extent and the fact that we have to run a toxicology, and I'm not insinuating anything by that, but just to be complete, I think that it probably would take a couple weeks. In fairness.
So there were 7 people that were there, were they all residents of that one location?
Yes, our information is there were 8 residents in that apartment, and it was tiny.
Were there any signs the family practiced witchcraft?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be able to tell you that if that were a fact, because I don't want to tarnish their memories. All right, last question. 8 people living in the apartment. Yes. All right. Thank you all for your patience. I appreciate it.